Peace. This is the HoodMystic, El Melchizedek, with Astrology Talks. We're going to talk about this week in astrology. The dates are May 15th to May 22nd. We're going to point out the energy surrounding Friday. We got a lot of things happening on Friday, so we just want to key you into what's happening. First thing that we're going to talk about, the first transit that we're going to talk about is Mercury entering Taurus on the 16th. Mercury is in a retrograde zone, and what a retrograde zone means is, yes, Mercury is direct, but the areas for which that is direct, it has already been retrograde in. So it's kind of like going backwards, now trudging forward through areas mentally that we have been before. Mercury in Taurus, this is going to last for another week and a half of it being in the retrograde zone. Maybe not a week and a half, but actually a week. And it's going to be in Taurus for the next 2 weeks. But these beginning times within Mercury, we are dealing with energy that we once had, but now it kind of got taken away from us. And really what this retrograde was okay, it showed you March 31st in that area. We had a goal, we had things that we were working towards, and then when they were in retrograde, a lot of things were unraveling, whether it be in the realms of relationship, life, business, employment. So ultimately, if we understand our original point of where we're trying to head with this energy and what we're trying to build with this energy, then we will experience a time of peace. Now, if we do not, if everything is just new to us now and we're not taking heed and we have a forgetful personality and we haven't learned these lessons, then guess what? We're dealing with a lot of confusion, a lot of discord. So ultimately, use this Mercury and Taurus energy to really manifest and really take control of your mind, because you have to understand that your thoughts become things. So if you have a lot of negative thoughts in your mind, this is not a good time to be depressed. So we need to seek out things that would liven our spirits and enrich our minds. Next, we're going to go to May 18th. And we're going to talk about Sun, Taurus, Sextile, and Chiron, May 18th. So, like I said, we are moving forward in our journey, understanding consciousness, and really trying to have a focus and a goal. And what stops us a lot of times is this Chiron energy, this wounded energy, and we have to begin to heal. This is a great transit for people who want to take their circumstances and their lives into their own hands. This energy isn't going to be for everybody because it's a sextile. So a sextile means that the energy is supported, but it's not going to come like on a billboard telling you what you need to do. So we have the Sun in Taurus, Taurus being a nurturing energy. So Sun in Taurus is all about manifestation, like we talked about earlier with Mercury being in Taurus. But this is so the Sun being with the North nodes transiting into Leo, the Sun ruling over Leo. And we also have a solar eclipse that's happening in this area in Leo where the North nodes is. So a lot of it is prepping us for our solar eclipse intentions. Who are we in this universe? Who are we in this life? This is a powerful time for the manifestors, for the conscious people who want to deal with this energy and bring about change. So like I said, the sextile is not going to be on a billboard. It's going to require you to actually start to heal some of those old wounds. Actually start to call those people who have hurt you or wronged you and tell them that, I forgive you. And we're not we're not doing this for them. We're doing it for ourselves so we can continue to move on in our journey. Because when we get to the 19th, we have 3 transits on that day. 3 powerful transits that's happening on the same day. So ultimately we have Friday, which is ruled by Venus, which is a day of love. And so the first transit that we want to talk about that is happening on Friday is Saturn trining Uranus, however you say that. So ultimately, Saturn is Sagittarius. Saturn is in retrograde. So Saturn is kind of like in an observant mood to see, over this past 6 months, I've been teaching you and training you and getting you ready for your highest good. That's what Saturn has been doing in the Sagittarius. It's been preparing you. So now it goes retrograde. 2 months ago, it went retrograde. So now it's in retrograde. It's either going to give gifts for honoring your discipline, honoring your limits and restrictions, and understanding that and not letting these things depress you, but also just getting you to work on your personal path. And so when you do honor your personal path, then you love your individual nature, which is Uranus. And see, this is a trine. This is not like a sextile like we just discussed with the sun sextile Chiron. This is a trine. So a trine is going to happen regardless. So ultimately, this is a good thing. But if you are not honoring your path, if you are not in the mode of discipline, then these next transits that I'm about to get into, they're going to affect you in an adverse way. And so when you look at life, you look at people around you, it's ultimately because they are not on their path. They do not understand their paths. But if you understand your path, you need to get on that. And if you have no idea where your path is, you need to get with a reader. You need to get with an astrologer. You need to get with somebody who can help you along the way. We don't want to go about this thing blind. We want to know where we're going and what we're doing. That's why we study the astrology. That's why we study the stars. Because the astrologer is not the one who says, okay, Sun, trine, Aries, or anything like that. The universe already sets it in motion. So as an astrologer, I'm just interpreting what's actually going on in the sky. So with that being said, so just to recap, Saturn trine Uranus is ultimately change. So if you are working your path, we're talking about a good change. Now, if you're not working your path, you're talking about a change that might not be so good, and it might be a little turmoil and destruction. So the next transit that's happening on the 19th is the sun in Taurus squaring the North Node, like I was talking about earlier. So the sun is I. So if you were born today, you would, with the sun being in Taurus, you would say, I am a Taurus. And now, I am in Taurus, meaning that I am manifesting the life that I want to lead. And now it is squaring the North Node. So, the North Node has just transited into Leo, which Leo is ruled by the sun, which I said earlier. So, and it's also a preparation. It's also a kickoff to the solar eclipse season. So we now need to start to begin to realign ourselves with our purpose and our higher calling. And so what we're dealing with the individual nature and the individual nature's ability to be successful. How does the individual become successful? The individual becomes successful by exhibiting a particular amount of courage. So the square comes in. Will you be courageous or will you be stagnant? Okay? And ultimately, get into understanding these, you get to the point of Venus opposing Saturn, which is happening at the end of the day, the same day, at night. So what does that say? Hey, it's time to get out and have a good time. You've been building this energy. You're dealing with the Saturn trine Uranus. You are on your own personal path. You are your own confident self. So let these people see you and feel this positive energy that you have been building up. Now, if we get to Friday and you haven't been building up positive energy, you haven't been dealing with the sun, you have been being stagnant, then this Venus opposed Libra, is going to be a depressing time, because you're going to notice everybody having fun and you just sitting back like, well, what the fuck is wrong with me? So ultimately, we have to get to a point where we are building our energy, and we're not building our energy for our own personal, feel goods. We are building our energy because we want to achieve something. We have a direction, we have an aim, we have a focus. So ultimately, with everything being said, this week in astrology is a build up for Friday. So Friday should be a great day, an excellent time to get out and enjoy yourself, building up this energy. We're not just doing this thing. This thing is not boring. This thing is not going to tie us down. This thing is going to elevate us and show us a life of leisure and success and happiness. What I do want to say is, when you do honor your Saturn and you do honor your Uranus, you are honoring your discipline and your individuality. What happens after that? Synchronicities and confirmations. So ultimately, we want to get into a vibe where it's like, this feels right. This is where I want to be. So ultimately, we have to figure out that thing within us. And once we figure it out within us, we have to go with it. We have to exhibit some courage, and we have to get ourselves out there. We cannot continue to be living in a vacuum and people not seeing our light. So with that said, any questions, anybody that wants to get a reading or anything of that nature, please feel free to hit me up. I'm at HoodMystic@gmail. You can add me on Facebook. I'm either El Melchizedek, or you can add my business page, facebook.com/HoodMystic. So we can set something up and schedule it. So this video is going up. It's going to be on the site, www.hoodmystic.com. We are going to stay consistent with this thing, so don't ever worry about me falling off. If you need some help, if you need to talk about any other things that I talked about in this video, please feel free to leave a comment, hit me up, I respond. I'm out here, man. So with that being said, have a wonderful week, and also remember to deal with the energy, build the energy. Be about the individual. Be about you. Self-love, self-sufficiency, taking care of yourself is no longer an option. It is a requirement. Moving on with this node, going into Leo. Leo is all about self-sufficiency, and that's where we're headed. If you're not about that, I really do feel sorry for you. But with that being said, I'm finally out this time, family. Have a great day. Peace.